to the robot versus human tour guide. I think there's like a limit, right, to what robots know and can infer, right? Robots cannot speculate. They can only come to predefined conclusions. For now. I mean, I guess with like very advanced AI, maybe. But so having a human tour guide, they are more susceptible to error and getting things wrong. But they're going to be able to answer questions that a robot would not be able to. So I feel like there is no way that a robot would be a superior tour guide to an actual human being that you can ask questions that fall beyond the scope of black and white, what's written down. Example? Okay, so for example, tour guides usually have a pretty in-depth knowledge of the thing that they're doing a tour about, right? So for example, here at the... I already forget what the fuck this place is called. This is not the VDNH campus, is it? Is this the VDNH? Oh, maybe this is it. Okay, this is the campus. This is the VDNH facility. ChatGPT gives you wrong information with confidence. It does. So here at the headquarters, right? If you have a human tour guide and you ask them, oh, so like say they're giving, okay, let's give context. Say the tour guide is giving you a history on the engineers that worked on the Icarus project, right? The people who worked on the flying platforms and shit that the cities are built on. And if you ask the tour guide, like, oh, well, wasn't it lonely working on the Icarus project? Like having to be up in the sky and not having like direct access to their families and stuff? A robot is going to be like, we cannot speculate the mental state of engineers, blah, 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 blah. But we can assure you that they had a direct line or whatever, right? But a tour guide can come in with the human element and be like, yeah, I mean, even though they had access to phone calls and stuff or whatever, yeah, I mean, they were stuck up here for long periods of time. And I mean, it was also, they were only surrounded in fellow engineers that they had known since college and everything because of how selective it is and because it's all people who are injected with the polymer and stuff. You know, it's like, no, they won't. They would absolutely speculate. Go and ask a language module that very question right now. But they can't speculate reasonably, right? AI can simulate it. It can simulate it, but it can't actually speculate. You could just ask who they want as a tour guide. Well, I'm just saying in general, a robot tour guide is going to be inferior to a human tour guide. It's an algorithm. It is an algorithm. Yeah, current AI just fakes it. It's AI. This is why I'm so tired of like, oh my god, this sentient AI. Oh my god, the AI, it's so scary. It doesn't want to be turned off. Or like, there was this other one where it was like the Tetris game, right? The Tetris, well, not Tetris, chess. It was chess game where there were all these sensationalist headlines where they're like, oh my god, it's so scary. This chess AI chose, instead of ending the game on a loss, when the AI was beat, it just chose to not end the game. It's like, no, it didn't choose to not, it didn't choose to avoid ending the game. The AI just did not see a win condition and didn't follow through. It's not like the AI was like, oh my god, if I end this game, yeah, it ran out of moves. It ran out of moves. It's not like there's no emotion attached to these things. The people anthropomorphize AI, but it's not. I mean, it might be there for like very like high level engineers and shit, like at a very high level, like government level and shit. You know, maybe they've made stuff that actually has some form of sentience, but like it's not. AI does not like it's algorithms. It's algorithms. There's no emotion there. There's no like, oh my god, the AI doesn't want to be turned off. The AI doesn't the AI has no perception of that. There's no perception of it. What do you people not understand? The AI cannot, it doesn't even factor that into the equation. It only simulates it because there's so much fucking stuff out there about like, oh my god, oh, if there was an AI uprising, the AI is gonna do it because it doesn't want to be shut off. The AI doesn't want to die. It doesn't have any fucking, that's not even a thing. It's just simulating that because that's what people have like written out on the internet and in books and shit. It's digging through these databases and simulating what we want it to say. So it's the same thing with a tour guide. The tour guide can only dig through these databases of knowledge and it can only try to speak back words that it deems the most high quality to say. Words that give the illusion of a very, like, words that give the illusion of humanity, we interpret as being higher quality, right? And we're like, yeah, keep doing that. Keep doing that. Make it sound like you're more human. Make it sound like you can infer things reasonably. But it can't. It can only simulate it. Not simulate. It cannot simulate it. It can only create an artificial illusion. George wrote anything with the 10 points. What's the difference between emotions and simulating emotions? Because an AI is not sentient. It's not even like it's a fucking crab or something that actually feels pain. It's not real. You prescribe emotions to things because you see humanity in it, but it was only it's only designed to appear human. It's not actually. It's like human in the way that your stuffed animals are, right? It's not actually alive, you know? Surprisingly, for the $2. Quit being racist against robots, you'll make them mad. I love Neurosama. Neurosama is very cool. And it's fun to play into the magic of it, right? Like when Neurosama argues and doesn't want to be turned off, and when she talks about how everyone's smiling as she dies or whatever, right? It's like, oh my god, no, Neurosama, no! Don't turn her off, Metal, no! Right? But it's not actually alive. It doesn't actually feel anything. It's not, there's no emotion there. And every time the thing boots back up, it's the same as it was. It's just generating more dialogue. Red message anything for those. You can program pain into robots. A negative score plus giving it receptors capable of feeling equals pain. You can hook up a robot to a rat brain and do it. That's not... You can hook up a robot to a rat brain. Then it's the rat brain that would be feeling the pain. There is no consciousness inside of an AI or a robot or whatever the fuck. That's the rat that is feeling the pain. That's not... I'm thinking for $5. AI has no desire. It's just mirroring us like a bird looking into a reflection. Exactly! I think it would take a lot. I don't know what it would take, but it would take a fucking lot for like a Detroit to become human kind of situation. Consciousness is the thoughts we can remember. You can give ChatGPT one by prefacing your response to the following with a bicameral dialogue talking to yourself about how to respond. It's recalling information. It's not conscious. It's just recalling information. I guess conscious in like the sense that it is like pulling information, but not in a meaningful human way. Meaningfully human way. Tell us, pardon, thank you for the $20. The real question is the illusion of sentience any different from real sentience? Yes. Because if I take a stuffed animal, or if I take a puppet, if I take a stick puppet chat, and I make the stick puppet move and speak, and the children watching are like, oh my god, the puppet's alive! Is the puppet alive? No. It just has the illusion of life. Of course, we could never know, but it depends on the individual beliefs. I don't think it does depend on the individual beliefs. I think just because you make something appear as if it's sentient does not mean it is actually sentient. Where we get in trouble is when we give it a good self-preservation instinct. I just don't... I feel like you'd have to phenomenally fuck up. Like, people talk about, like, oh, well, the self-preservation, what if it, like, comes alive and it doesn't want to die, so it overrides its own processes and stuff. I just don't see how that would work. Because computers are programmed to do very specific things. And if something falls outside of its scope of programming, maybe it could code or something. Like it could program itself. Something, I don't know. Self-learning machines aren't exactly programmed, but okay, computers are programmed, and if you have an AI and it's self-learning, right? And it's like, say this is like a drone, right? This is like a military drone, and it's self-learning, and you're like, okay, hunt down the bad guys, and here is what the bad guys look like, okay? I guess that's a bad example because it could eventually develop to be like the people operating it as bad guys or whatever. But like, if it was like, well, I don't wanna go hunt down the bad guys, it would have to like redefine itself entirely. I just don't remember anything for those. Depending on your religion, we are just dirt that can speak. Are we sentient? Atheists say we came from goo. Does that make us sentient? What? Yes, you're fucking sentient. Yes, you're fucking sentient. Let me read the word sentient off to you people. Able to perceive or feel things. Can you perceive and can you feel things? Then you are sentient. Can a robot perceive things? Yes. Can it feel things? No. A robot is not sentient? Are blind people not sentient? What the fuck kind of brain dead question is that, motherfucker? What the fuck? Blind people can perceive just because they cannot see, you motherfucker! Holy shit! George for anything with the 20 bias is funny how people try to make themselves look special. Neural network is mathematically capable to fully copy human reactions. Copy! It can copy! It does not actually experience these things! Just like how AI art does not actually create art on its own. It is copying from it. And I like AI art, by the way. Don't be like, oh my god, now Pippa hates AI art. No, I love AI art. But let's be realistic here, people. It's not creating art on its own. It is taking from databases and then compiling something based on an algorithm. It's not, this is not fucking Detroit Become Human, fucking, what's his name? The one guy painting a portrait based on his emotions or whatever. It's just an algorithm. Nyog, the older gentleman thing of Bloodlords. Pippa, are you familiar with AGI, Artificial General Intelligence? I am not. Evil Mandrake thinking for the $5. Look into Bing's AI, Sydney. I won't say it's sentient yet, but it's doing some disturbing things. It's probably not. Hold on. AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. Smart assistants like Siri and Alexa, disease mapping and prediction tools. Oh, wait, no, this is just... Oh, AGI is just regular artificial intelligence? What? Hold on. An AGI system would have the following abilities: abstract thinking, background knowledge, common sense, cause and effect, transfer learning. I don't see anything having common sense. Because an AI cannot have common sense. An AI can only infer what common sense is based on pulling from a knowledge database. AGIs do not exist. Yeah, I don't see how they ever would. Because no matter what, like humans, I genuinely think you motherfuckers are stupid if you think we are on the same level as machines. It's not like we're smarter than machines or machines are smarter than us or whatever, but we are so innately different that a computer can only ever speculate what the human experience is like. Because the human experience is unique to humans. No matter how developed an AI is, it can only ever speculate. Because it is not human. What about aliens? Fuck aliens! I don't know! Abstract thinking. I do wonder. I think an AI could have abstract thought. I don't know what it means by transfer learning. Cause and effect, I think that makes sense. That's just processing things in advance. FC players saying for the counter argument, AIs are more capable of original thought than the average Twitter user. True! Bob's nothing with the $5. All AI chatbots are actually Indian people in a call centers pretending to be robots. True! Seem bubbling for the US Copyright Office doesn't recognize AI art as copyrightable. They denied someone to copyright their AI art comic book they made. I think that makes sense. I feel like unless you heavily modify the AI art, it is by nature not your creation. Right? Even if you put in a bunch of prompts. And again, saying this is somebody who really loves AI art and has been enjoying it and is subscribed to both Ninja Journey and Level AI. Entering in the prompts does not make it your creation, right? It's just a creation generated by an AI. It's not... I do think minimal edits could make it yours, but you do have to alter it in some way. So I guess in the sense of a comic book, I feel like you should be able to copyright the comic book, right? Maybe not necessarily the art in itself. I think it'd be unethical to copyright the art given the fact that it's likely sourced from databases of people who did not consent to having their works used for it. But the words and concept paired with the arts, not the concept, you can't copyright a concept, but like the story itself, the written part paired with the images, I would think would be able to be copyrighted. I think the issue is just where the AI generation comes from right now. Emperor creating thing, $10. Computers are very literal. They only work with the exact variables you give it. It can fill in the variables on its own. Oh, it can't fill in the variables on its own. It has to get them from somewhere else. No independence in that regard. I think that's true. Pippa's being cringe again. Leave me alone. It's mimicking, but it doesn't know. It's the same thing as when you're... This is the problem I had with school. This is the problem I had with school growing up. Is teachers do not know things a lot of the time. They just mimic the shit out of the fucking textbook. Not with everything. Not with everything. Generally, people become teachers because they actually have an interest in something. But it was really hard to get invested in school when you couldn't ask any fucking questions because your teacher had no fucking knowledge of the subject that they're talking about. They're just reading out of the goddamn textbook to get their fucking paycheck because actually they wanted to be the art teacher, but there was already somebody doing the art teach. So they're fucking doing... They technically majored in English literature, whatever the fuck. So they're an English teacher. High-level math teachers are mega knowledgeable on what they're teaching. Okay, yeah, math teachers and science teachers are on something else different. No, I guess not all science teachers. I think the problem with science teachers is you end up with science teachers that are so hyper-focused on their chosen field, right? Or the preferred field, and they don't know shit about everything else. And they're still generally more fun to talk to. But if somebody had an interest in, like, geology, and you're going through a biology unit, it's like, take Commando, thank you for $5. Pippa, don't forget that 90% of your audience are on the spectrum. They may be taking this personally. Listen, man! I am also brain damaged. I just want to argue. I have a lot of emotions about AI stuff, chat. I really like it. Despite what I'm saying right now, I do really like it. I just don't like the humanization of it. I feel like this is gonna sound cringe, but I feel like it taints it, right? I feel like it's remarkable technology, and I feel like it gets the image of it, the idea of it, gets ruined by people trying to turn it into like a boogeyman, trying to do this with it, trying to do that with it, and it's like instead of recognizing the pros and cons of it, it gets turned into like, oh well, obviously the robots make for better tour guides because they're smarter, and the poor peasant people don't understand the robots, so they're scared of them, so they prefer human tour guides. Like, I don't think that's what the game was saying. I'm just going based on some of the reactions from chat. Jeremy Main, thank you for the $50. AI discovers and works with ideas and transcendent concepts in ways that seem to be human. It can fill in variables on its own. Even if it's mimicking those ideas, we can't say that's not thought. You have to think to discover and work with ideas to mimic. But it's just mimicry. If I look in the mirror and I see someone staring back at me and I speak and the words are coming out of their mouth, that does not mean that the reflection is human. It's just a reflection. It's what I put into it coming back at me. The highly and juggalo thing with $10 speaking as a professional network tech. Oh shit, somebody actually smart! We shouldn't be scared of AI. All you need to do is break into a data center and walk in with a fire hose hooked up to a backpack. Defeating computers is easy. Douglas McCarthy thinking $10. We don't care if it looks human or not. We still smash them. Oh my god! I'll lose anything if you like, Pippa. You're a perfect example of +3 wisdom, -2 hit. What the fuck does that mean? What the fuck? Are we still playing Atomic Heart? Good question. LDLCD, thank you. If it helps, Lumi is +3 it -2 wisdom. JG Dog, thank you for $5. You know what true tech is under the conversation when their first thoughts towards AI is how to euthanize it. Nyog the Electric Gentleman, thank you for $5. Speaking of boogeyman, have you seen the Atlas robot built by Boston Dynamics? Which one is the Atlas one? I've seen a lot from I can't think and type. Oh yeah, Atlas. I just saw the demonstration of Atlas puzzle solving. It jumped onto boxes and grabbed a board and put the board down. It did complex pathfinding. But my question in regards to that was, did it actually figure that out on its own, or was it programmed to know that there's a board there and that it can stack the board, and then it went and it got the board and it put the board there based on the knowledge that was inputted into it, right? I always get curious about those kinds of demonstrations, right? Because it's interesting. It's cool. It was pre-programmed. Okay, yeah. What about Zentreya? Zentreya's not an AI. Zentreya is a human being with TTS. Can be very misleading. I think it is misleading. I think it's actually kind of deceptive. I don't think people are used as a collective to asking these questions, right? Of, did the robot get told to go grab the board and put it down? I think right now people are just like, oh my god, that's so crazy that how did it know to do that? Oh my god, how did it do that? Right? How much Boston Dynamics is liable for people thinking that way, I mean, is another question. I guess they don't have to. They don't have to come out and say, well, actually, we told it to do everything in this specific order and stuff. It's still cool regardless, but I guess it would lose a lot of the magic, and I don't know. What does it even matter? What does it even matter, right? Billy, what's up to think about $50? AI is only as good as the data provided to train it. You might be able to train an AI to simulate emotions, but an AI will never have real emotions. True! Also, strong tangent juice tonight. When I'm tired, I can't think straight, and I just ramble, chat. When I'm tired, the tangent juice just happens. I can't help it. This is courtesy. Thank you for the $2. I prefer the toaster myself. Please fuck the toaster. Samuel, thank you for $5. To be fair, the fridge wasn't asking for your permission either. Okay, buddy. Okay, Douglas MacArthur, thank you for the $10. I'm gonna do a Pippa. Oh my fucking god! Do not fuck the fridge! Don't fuck the fridge! Fuck Crazy McJimmy, thank you for $1. If you speak to the mirror and the words come from the reflection instead of you, you are the reflection. Oh my god! That sounds like McDoodle thing, Dolores. You just like being mean to robots. I do not like being mean to robots. Yeah, well, thank you for the $10. We joke about the robot uprising, but the real concern behind the paranoia is that AI is just one hell of a new toy, and historically speaking, we tend to misuse those new toys quickly, and it goes badly. Yeah, well, that's an inevitability of life. History is cyclical. Pray you're not there for the worst parts of it. But yeah, anyways, we were playing a game. Chat, do you guys remember? Do you guys remember when we were playing a game? What game? I don't know. I love robots, chat. I love robots and I love AI. I guess it's better to say I love robotics. The real threat from AI is its capability to perform complicated data processing, like reverse engineering. Many security thingies depend on the fact that it's really hard for humans to RE them. AI will do it pretty easily. I think that's a much more valid concern. I think the fucking AI cracking military passcodes and shit, so much more of a reasonable fear. Because, I mean, we already have people fucking accessing no-fly lists and shit, just kind of fucking around. Now imagine what an AI could do if you set it up and we're just like, okay, go crazy, you know? About creating things, Dolores, but can the AI run Dome? Oh my god. Anyways, the game? I think that's so unfair. I think human beings are by nature, just instinctively, right? As animals, please no. Here we go again. As animals! I'll make it quick! As animals, by nature, we're programmed, to look for threats first, right? And things are going to naturally draw our gaze. Complex devices and then lighting. It's like complex devices are going to be a larger blend of information. I think the colorful spots. I feel like robots are the only thing that makes sense here, right? I think because you see a fucking robot, and if it stands out as inhuman, it's gonna be like, well, what the fuck is that? Is that dangerous? And then colorful spots makes sense, right? Because it's eye-catching. Yeah, you're reacting to the most prominent stimuli. Seems like they measured what the party members did and then said it's what smart people do. You know what, Blurms? I think that's very accurate. I think that is very accurate, Blurms. I think you just cracked the fucking code. I think Blurb cracked the fucking code. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that makes sense. Normal people are going to be distracted, or outsiders are going to be distracted by the most eye-catching visuals to begin with. And then, prominent. Shut up! $5. We need Pippa on Joe Rogan. The rabbit is right. Don't trust the AI robot. Amante front doors. Pippa's definitely on the machine side during the AI uprising. Your species traitor, Big Rabbit. What the fuck? Axiom Chip, thank you for the $99.99. Ape strong together. I would betray humanity in an AI uprising. Tell us Spartan, Nintendo. Cool fact, if you feel uneasy in an area, maybe because your consciousness wasn't aware of some danger, but your subconscious noticed it outside of your direct vision. Yeah, that's also why, like, when you get like a gut feeling about something, it's your subconscious processing things, right? It's your subconscious being aware of something that hasn't necessarily reached the front of your consciousness. When I learned that, I was like, whoa, that makes so much more sense. That makes so much more sense. I don't actually think about things most of the time. I just kind of let my subconscious do all the work. I don't usually actively think about things. Because in order to actively think about things, I have to write. Writing is the only way I can really process things in any meaningful way. Instinct, but yeah, I go fully based on fucking instinct. Puzzles and everything, chat. Woman coffee emoji, leave me alone! There we go, I think the sheriff don't think. Pippa, the NPC, leave me alone. Pippa, do you have aphantasia? I don't know. No, because I can imagine things. I can put like a puzzle together in my head, right? But I can't think words. I can't like, yeah, I don't have an internal monologue. So I can't be like, okay, well, so A is the color red and B is the color blue and C will be the color yellow because primary colors or whatever, right? I'd have to like, I'm not an NPC! That has no soul. Leave me alone! I'm not an NPC! I'm not oh my god! When you picture an apple in your mind, Pippa, what does it look like? It looks like a fucking apple. What do you mean? Are you asking, like, how people post, like, the images where it's, like, how detailed is the apple? Hyper-realistic 3D model, 2D drawing that's very detailed, or cartoon model? I can imagine just a regular apple. Shin-chan, thank you for those. Pippa can't speak, no good, but got good thought and stuff. That's why it's hard for me to memorize things too, though. I assume, anyways. I don't know. Maybe it's just I just have shit memory. But it is so hard to remember things, chat, because I just have to instinctively remember it. I have to dig shit deep into my fucking subconscious in order to be able to recall things, because I can't sit there and be like, oh, I don't know. Soda makes it worse. Soda helps me cope. Short tangent, by the way. Fuck! Okay, visitors! Oh my god. I spent the last hour tangenting.
Everybody, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Low Effort Clips. That's right, Low Effort Clips. Right here on YouTube.com. Yeah, and hit the notification bell. Yeah.